Blacksad, right? It is a French comic. I think we've mentioned this before in another episode, but
It's
I'm not
French?
sure.
Why is it French if it's made by two Spaniards?
I know, and why am I reading a French comic in the United States? It's just, it's part of the global economy.
But
it's all getting smaller
is it
and
because
smaller.
of the publisher that it makes it French?
Yeah, it was originally published in France. France, for those of you who don't know, has a really robust comics industry, one of the biggest and best in the world. The French, as a people, just have always held comics, or as they call it, bande dessinée, in really high regard.
That was awesome.
It's one of like the the big art forms over there. So they have you've probably heard of the famous Angoulême festival where an entire town is transformed into a comics fest. People think comics in the United States, they tend to think superheroes. France, it tends to be everything. This particular volume is the 4th in the series. Dark Horse has done this very nice edition. I'm such a big fan of Blacksad, I would go and buy these things in French, even though I can't really read French before they came out. But if you're a person who does something like that, there's still a lot of good material in this.
I think it's like a primer on exactly how they created and their choices for inks, colors, and materials.
Wanho, I'm going to say his name is, Guarnido. This is some of his sketchbook stuff and all the different things he does to kind of figure out the color palette and the drawings. It's an incredible amount of work, and it's really just an amazing piece of artistry. Most Blacksads take place in New York. This one is actually takes place in New Orleans. I like the way you said that. And as the story opens, John Blacksad has been hired to go find a missing jazz musician named Sebastian Littlehand Fletcher.
He's been hired
by
Mr. LaChapelle.
Yeah, Faust LaChapelle?
Faust LaChapelle.
Which is like, hi, bad guy, right there. His name is Faust.
Why did you do that?
Because it's...
I'm totally editing that out.
His name is Faust LaChapelle, and he's got goat horns. You know he's the devil. So, but he's not literally the devil.
So, Sebastian Littlehand Fletcher has a wife. I'm not sure if it's a girlfriend or
I think
not.
Wife. I think
wife,
they specifically say.
But her character is somewhat in the background of all of what's going on. She has a kid, and then she has a brief... What is that noise?
It's the music of the spheres. Not a strong female character in this one.
Not a very strong female character. That's the only gripe I have.
There is a moment in this book, which is reflected on the cover, where Blacksad nearly dies. He often makes mention of the fact that he's a cat and that he has 9 lives. He goes into the water, and there's this really bizarre sequence where he regresses into a kitten, still wearing his clothes. Then it's like the veil is lifted as he dies, and he sees what I could only describe as perhaps our world. There's a lot of scenes of animals in a laboratory setting being experimented on really horribly. And I have to admit, I'm a little concerned that we're going to find at the end of the series that John Blacksad is maybe just a cat in a lab somewhere, and I hope they don't go that route. There's also a very interesting bit...
No easy out.
Yeah, and just, come on, I like Blacksad. I don't want him to be a poor kitten who's being mutilated somewhere. If you are watching this, please don't make him a laboratory animal being experimented on. The world already has, plague dogs and Watership Down. We don't need another sad animal story that way. All right.
So who's this book for? I would say it's for fanboys.
Oh,
girls.
Snap. What is a fanboy to you?
Someone who really appreciates technical skills, who would buy books like this and be like, this is how a cartoon should be drawn.
There's some very high production values on
it.
this.
It is. I mean, you can't, as much as I was kind of, slightly put off by it at first because of its slickness, it's by masters. I will say that.
Yeah,
and
masterfully done.
Masterfully done.
If you're a superhero fan who likes well-drawn superhero books, you should buy this because really it's better drawn than anything you've seen. Almost anything. And if you're an indie fan who likes your stuff with kind of edgy, weird, quirky stories, buy it too. It's maybe a little bit more mainstream, but I think you can still appreciate that people are doing this really amazing comic that doesn't have anything to do with people jumping over buildings in a single bound.
And say you're a kid that's learning to do cartoons, or you do your own cartoons, buy it because it will make you a better illustrator, and it will make you go to figure drawing class, which will ultimately make you a better artist, for sure.
Heck, if you're a filmmaker, take a look at it. I recommend this for anybody. Just, there's a little bit of language, there's a little bit of nudity, so, use that with your own discretion. If animal breasts make you nervous, maybe skip Blacksad.